Our coverage of CES 2026 is brought to you by Geekom, and our trusted partners are Alphacool and HAVN. We are here at the Hyte booth at CES with this insane thing right here called the Z90 or Z90. We're in the States, that's the proper name. And we have the genius behind this design. And if you look carefully, you may notice that it looks pretty similar to the X50. That is because this, in many ways, is basically what birthed the idea for that case. Isn't that right?
That's correct. We started this project with no rules, no requirements, and just wanted to build something that was completely different. And what we were left with was something that was, mostly unmanufacturable, but something that was partly manufacturable. And what we ended up doing was taking a lot of the unmanufacturable parts out and shipping this style of chassis as the X50.
Now the journey to actually get to this and the X50 is a long one. If we can just look back at where it has all began with the very first prototype right here. For some, clarity for the viewers, how long is the whole process? Like, when is this from?
Over 3 years ago.
Over 3 years ago.
Yeah, so we made this before the Y70 Touch was released. We only had the Y60 out when we were working on this. And so this is basically, it's kind of like a bubble, but it's like a CNC milled, 3D printed type thing. It's hollow. And from here, we start to look at what's silly, what's not working. And see, there's some very sharp edges here, stuff that would break off. There's some weirdness in the design where the mesh would meet. You start to get really picky once you get it physically. And from there, I would say that there's probably about 6 months between these. And this is where it's effectively a proper case. And so this is a shell on top of a chassis. This would lift up. And so underneath is the first iteration, but still a very basic chassis that fits two 200 millimeter fans in the front and two 200 millimeter fans on the bottom. But even this, when you start to walk around it, you get the feeling of depth, but there's some weirdness. The gaps are inconsistent, looks weird from different angles. And what we wanted was magic from all these angles. We wanted something that looked different on every side, but not weird from any side. That's very different. When you're trying to style yourself in the morning, maybe you look good from this angle and you turn, you're like, this isn't working. And that's very much this problem. Here we have a pretty, you could see like the chassis on full display, and this is where some of the elements of the X50 really started to appear. These louvered blade fins on the back, the power supply shroud, the access from the top, giving it this kind of almost like seashell type of shape, this very Fibonacci type shape. And from there, we moved into our final mock-up. And now this is actually only about 1 month old. And this was made with silicone rubber. We got the design really tightened up and it looks fantastic from all the angles. The problem is we still can't manufacture it for a reasonable amount of money. And this is a business where things have to be profitable, or at least not lose us money. And this project just got to a critical mass where, yes, we love how it looks, but no, we don't think we can manufacture or sell this.
So unfortunately for the lovers of the Z90, odds are you won't be getting your hands on it, maybe even ever. Who knows, maybe a miracle will happen. But for people who like the general design of it, there's still the X50. So what are the kind of the biggest similarities and biggest differences, and where's the kind of shared DNA between this and the X50?
This, really in the chassis, trying to do something where the chassis was integrated with the design of the exterior of the case. That's something that we very much carried over, and how we innovated on the louver blade fins, how the fans are integrated into the chassis and they don't really stick out from the chassis. It's not like the chassis is this two-dimensional thing and the fans are protruding. Everything sits flush. And that concept looked gorgeous, I think, in the X50 when you fill it up with fans. The thermal performance is fantastic. And just sort of the feng shui of how you arrange the components. If you look at the X50, the case is basically defined by the height of the 360 radiator, which is the height of the motherboard plus the power supply. Everything is kind of notched into its place and like built into the mountainside of this case, and I think that's really beautiful.
So I know that it's been a huge success for you guys. I'm still waiting for my review unit.
We send him home with one. Just give him the orange one.
Yeah.
No, but we definitely need to get you an X50. That's a guarantee. We're on camera.
Yeah.
We'll get the X50.
Kind of just checking in at the airport.
Please. That's no problem.
So if you had to guess, obviously it's not going to be a great number given all of the factors, but
Sure.
an MSRP of this, if it ever actually was a real product.
So these as one-off mock-ups, they cost us $10,000. Now that's our cost.
Yeah.
So if we were to sell that, and let's just say we only sell it on Hyte.com, so the margin isn't being split to retailers. Let's say we make 40% margin. This would cost $14,000. If we tooled it up, it would cost us $700,000. So we get into this situation where you have to sell a certain amount of them.
Yeah.
I would say that ideally, in how it is today, if we really got everything right and we bet on selling 10 to 20,000 a month, maybe that MSRP could come down to like $400 to $500. If there was a market for that, I would love to do that, but the times are a little tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, would you guys buy this thing if it ever came to market? Well, let us know down in the comments below, and thank you so much for a
Thank you,
great
Alexander.
rundown of the history of this case right here.
Thank you.
Plus huge thanks to Gavin Byrne, Justin Rage, Ella Vroniak, Balaj Voka, Nada Sudanim, Meg Sumner, and Shane Allcroft.